Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Sunday, April 19th, 2026. We are on day 7, which means we are 1/3 of the way through with our life cycle of a chicken unit. A chicken takes 3 weeks to develop in an embryo, and so we have just finished the first full week. This was day 1. We learned the vocabulary words incubator, chicken, eggs. On day 2, we learned the vocabulary words hen, rooster, observe. Your child should be able to use all of these new words in sentences at home. So if you will ask them questions about these words, they should be able to tell you what they mean and use them in sentences. Embryo, rotate were our words for day 3. Day 4 was nest and life cycle. Day 5, roost, we used as a verb to sit or sleep on at night. And then clutch we used as a noun, a group of eggs together in a nest. Day 6, yesterday, which was Saturday, we learned about brood. This is what you call a group of newly hatched chicks, and a brooder box to put the chicks in. And then today, on day 7, we're going to learn about the air sac. Now, I want you to notice something about these two pictures. This illustration is correct. This illustration does not show the air sac. The air sac is located here at the bottom fat part of the egg. This is a little bit confusing because the word they use to describe this fat part of the egg is called blunt, and we usually think of blunt as being something being very sharp, but that's not how this word was originally used. This word blunt means round and dull. It does not mean sharp. So you have the pointed end of the egg and you have the blunt end of the egg, which is the fatter side. That's where this air sac is located. Today we're going to talk about the air sac. The air sac is a pocket of air that sits right here at the blunt end of the egg, and the air inside the sac is the first air that a chick will breathe before hatching out of the shell. So remember yesterday when we talked about that egg tooth growing on his beak and how he would use that egg tooth like a hammer to crack a hole in this layer of liquid he's living in and crack a hole in the shell, and then he'd crack another hole and another and another and another, and that's called pipping and zipping, right? Well, that whole process takes about 24 hours. It's a long process, and by the time a chick is born, he is exhausted. And so while he's in here, once he pokes a hole in that liquid that he's been living in, he has to have something to breathe until he gets outside the egg and can breathe oxygen. That little pocket of air up at the blunt end of the egg is called the air sac, and it is there just for the purpose of letting the chick breathe until he or she can get totally out of this egg. So we've learned about several things so far that a chicken is given just for certain purposes, and then they're not there anymore, correct? Like these blood vessels, they will dry up after he's born. We won't see these blood vessels inside the eggshell for very long. There's a type of umbilical cord that you'll see inside the egg that will dry up and won't be there. The air sac is just for the purpose of breathing air. That egg tooth is there just for the reason of getting out of the shell, and then once they don't need it, it disappears within 24 hours of their hatching. So today we're talking about the air sac, and the air sac goes at the blunt end of the egg, which is not the pointy end, it's the big fat end. When you put fresh eggs in an egg carton or in an incubator, you want the eggs to sit with that fat side facing up so that the air sac does not fade down into the yolk. You want the air sac up at the top, nice and pretty and protected, while everything else sort of sits down here at the bottom and the pointed side of the egg. So if you look at this picture today, our air sac would actually be down here, and the embryo probably would be turned upside down to be an accurate illustration. So on day 7, the legs and wings begin to form. Let's look at a few things inside the incubator. Let's make a couple of observations together. Do you remember what I said, the positioning that I said that the eggs need to sit in the incubator? Are all of our eggs sitting like that? We said pointy side down, blunt side up. What do you notice? Pointy side down, blunt side up. That's what we're looking for. All right, so let's go one by one. Let's look at this one. This egg is sitting, let's take it out so you can see it real good. It's sitting blunt side down, pointy side up. That's actually opposite of what it should be. So we're looking for that fat side of the egg to be facing up each time, right? Let's see if we can get it to rotate back a little bit so we can have them all sitting up nice and good. So we want this fat side, the blunt side, to be facing up. Blunt side up, pointy side down. And they do roll around some, and that's okay. But for the most time that they're in here, we want them to be sitting correctly. We want that pointy side down, fat side up, so that we're protecting. What is that about the top? The air sac we learned about today. That's what we're trying to protect. We want to protect the air sac at the top. Fat side up, skinny side down, right? Because that's where the air sac is. The last thing we're going to do today is look at an egg that is not fertilized. I believe this one is one that is not fertilized. And we're going to look at one that is fertilized. I'll pull out two just in case it's not a great example. And I want to show you the difference. By tomorrow, we will be pulling out any eggs that we have that are not fertilized or that may have developed a blood ring inside. A blood ring is a round red circle where the embryo was growing, but is not growing anymore. Remember, we've talked about this a lot. Wherever you have life, you also have death, correct? So what we're looking for in here is a beautiful air sac. What we don't want to see are very porous shells. See these holes all in the shell that you can kind of see through? You don't want to see a yellow yolk that rises up to the top if you turn it this way and rises up to the top if you turn it the other way. Do you see that yellow yolk? So this one does not have an embryo. There's no black dot in here. There's no blood vessels in here. Nothing that gives us any indication that this 7-day-old egg is fertilized and is developing, right? So this one is an unfertilized egg. Did you see the yolk float from down at the bottom all the way to the top? There's nothing that has stuck it to one side or the other, correct? So that one is for sure. We can get rid of that one. That one is not a fertilized egg. Let's take a look at this one and see what we see. All right, you know what you're looking for now. You tell me if you see it. This one looks very different than the other one, doesn't it? The only light spot we have is on this side. Look how dark it is all the way around. That means that there is growth happening on the inside of the egg. Do you see that little black dot right there? That is our embryo. And we have blood vessels coming all the way out and around. Let's turn it so that we can see that beautiful air sac if we can find it. This one looks like it may have sat on the wrong side for a little bit of time and not developed that beautiful air sac for us to see just yet. But we can definitely see the embryo right there, moving around, blood vessels, beautiful. Let's do one more. Here we go, let's see what we're looking for. See if we can find it. There he is, see him? A little black dot right there floating around. Blood vessels all around, darkness. You see the darkness has kind of overtaken most of the egg. Let's turn it around this side. Okay, see him right there? Beautiful. Jumping all around. All right, so this one is definitely fertilized. Do you see the difference between fertilized and unfertilized eggs? As these eggs continue, as the embryos continue to grow and change, we're going to see this light area right here close in. It's going to get almost all dark. See how dark it is from here over? And this is the only light area we have. As we keep going over the next week, by day 14, you won't hardly be able to see anything inside there. That whole area will be completely covered. There's our beautiful little embryo bouncing all around. It is truly amazing that by day 7, they have legs, wings, tongues, beaks, heart beating. They have an air sac, all the things that they need to survive, isn't it? Okay, today is day 7. We are 1 week out of our 3-week process finished. We have 2 weeks left, 14 days. How exciting!